the way you want. So, like, unfortunately, there are still people who listen to that, but it's not us. And so they were trying to recreate these different zones of influence. But here we come with a very, very important conclusion. You know that Putin often says that he is at war with the West, or he is at war with NATO countries when NATO didn't even start. Thank you. Yeah, double speak is very dangerous. You're totally right. And one of the most important things that he was trying to illustrate the strengths, but at the same time, he surely knows he's not fighting with NATO, because Putin's war with NATO would last like 3 days, indeed, for Putin. And what Putin does and Russia does by describing themselves as a strong army, as a strong military country, they always attack smaller countries. They always attack countries that they have previously demilitarized, as they did with Ukraine, or when they try to organize, and now I will use the Russian propaganda term, or they use a coup, like with Yanukovych, because they actually implanted Yanukovych in the Ukrainian government, and many people around him performing important functions like prosecutor general or the minister of internal affairs responsible for police services in Ukraine were Russian citizens. So obviously, if we're talking about Ukraine 2014 coup, it was Yanukovych. Yanukovych, who later fled to Russia, taking away Ukrainian treasury. What else do you need to see that the plan of Putin was to silently annex Ukraine? It failed because there is one component, one crucial component that he forgets about, and this is us, Ukrainian people. We have a very active civil society, and honestly, one of the reasons why they keep failing here in Russia, they don't have one. They have suppressed, traumatized population. And here we have people who are decision makers. And you know, I have this, I am a little bit sarcastic sometimes. I even thought that it's maybe why they like bomb Ukraine literally everywhere, and they say that we only target decision-making centers because all of Ukraine is a decision-making center. You know, like literally every person in Ukraine can make some decisions and can change something in the country, starting from, I don't know, repairing a house and finishing with repairing the government or changing the president. Just count how many presidents we had in Ukraine during this period and in Russia. In Russia, they have Putin, 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 and a brief period of Yeltsin. I don't count Medvedev as a president. I'm sorry. He is interstellar drug addict or something like that. So, let's count Ukrainian presidents. We had Kravchuk. Then we had 2 terms of Kuchma. Then we had Yushchenko. Then we had Yanukovych. Then we had Poroshenko. Then we had Zelensky. We had like 7 people, and we will have more. And in Russia, we literally have generations of people who were born when Putin was a president, went to school when Putin was a president, then I don't know, got married, recruited to Russian army and died. And all of their lifespan actually went during this period of Putin's presidency, which is insane, and people accept that. So, trying to illustrate strengths, as a classical bully, Putin attacks only smaller, previously demilitarized countries. He attacks Georgia. He attacked Chechnya. He attacked Ukraine. Also, taking into account that the world is always concerned and very much afraid and so on. Thank you so much, John. And it is so important to see that if Russia was really strong, if Russia was really capable of fighting the real Third World War, not just create these troubles and hybrid warfare in your countries, but I mean like open, active war, it would never be able to do so. It would be, thank you so much, John. It would be about fighting with someone like equal. Why don't we see Russia attacking China? You know, Russia is bigger than China. This is Kola. Thank you so much. So it's super important to understand that if like Russia wanted to illustrate its strengths, it should have attacked China, but this will not happen because once again, Russia knows that it is super, super small economically. It is super small economically and it will not work out for them. Another important thing is that right now, Ukraine is fighting with Iran, North Korea, and China. And Russia, of course, because all of these countries support Russia. Otherwise, it would have failed long, long ago. Let's just like, I don't know, put a list of these things where Russia illustrates its weakness. Number one, it only attacks countries that are much smaller than it, that were previously demilitarized using various blackmail techniques, threats and techniques, or a Yanukovych coup when they actually sent a pro-Russian figure to annex Ukraine silently. And when they have, thank you so much, Aim for My Head, and Russia denying that straight up deliberate barbaric terrorist bombing targeting civilians is laughable. Yeah, and that's what we say. See, when even Tucker Carlson asked Lavrov yesterday how many people died in Ukraine, and he decided not to answer the question. So we understand that Russia only chooses like smaller countries to attack them and believes that's the illustration of strength when definitely it is not. Another thing, it will never attack the United States or any big, strong nuclear European country. We have to understand that. And I hope that people who live in France, Germany, or the United Kingdom know that. Another thing, like there are literally lots of their children living in your countries. You have to be realistic that. And I want to remind you to hit the like button so that more people can watch something different than Russian propaganda. Thank you so much, Korpen. Thank you guys for your support, for giving sponsorship to our community. And thank you so